Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of Competing Conversations, where we dive deep into the conversational experiences of two competing brands. Today, we are discussing the theme of context. What pre existing information can be used in a conversation to make it more assistive and personal to the user? For our competitors today, we are taking a look at old school versus new school. In one corner, we have the incumbent TD Bank, and in the other corner, we have Square, who just announced earlier this week that they will be competing with banks globally as they have launched their own banking operations. Both have a wealth of customer information at their disposal. Let's see how they're using that in their bots today. I'm going to kick it off with TD and their in-app support bot, Clary. Let me start off by saying that this is a sharp-looking UI, clean and elegant with simple colors. There are a couple of options here in the buttons below that you can see. Let's try them out. The first one that I'm going to select here is Show My Balance. I'm going to have to blur some of those numbers, but here is my current balance across all of my TD accounts. Laid out really well, nice and simple, showing me only the numbers that I care about based on my request. Now this seems natural, but something that deserves huge props is that the bot didn't ask me again to re-authenticate myself. You see this a lot with in-app chatbots today, where they will either share no personal information with you, or they will ask you to put your information in again before it shares anything. Having a really crisp authentication infrastructure is critical to context. It removes friction and allows the user to get the information they want immediately. Let's take a look at the spending categories button. Very nice, and the cards are nice and simple as well. Nothing happens when you click on those cards, but again, this display is achieving what it set out to do, which was show me the categories and show me the values underneath each. Okay, and the final one that I'm going to select on is largest transactions. This is scary. Okay, and you can see here that the data is displayed a little bit differently. It's in the list view, it's showing me more information, and I'm guessing this is displayed like this because specifically when you're looking at your largest transactions, you want to know when they happened, what the amount was, and any other useful information that can maybe help you determine that whether these transactions are useful, and whether maybe you need to go start canceling some subscriptions to tools that you don't use anymore. I'm really impressed about the data that is available to this bot, how quickly it's able to retrieve it, and the combinations of ways that it displays the data back to the user. For a banking bot, this is the perfect example of the right contextual data available at the user's fingertips. The data is relevant to the user. Would it normally require multiple clicks if I were to find this information myself? And I didn't have to do any additional authentication. I'm really impressed and I want to give a high mark, but unfortunately I'm feeling that with great power comes great responsibility. And frankly, they've done a really good job in getting the data, but it isn't a two-way street. I can't make changes to my accounts, I can't pay bills, transfer funds, or set a budget from this bot. All I can do is read. And for that reason, I'm giving this a B+. Next up, we have Square. This support bot is on the Square website, and it did ask me to sign in first before continuing the conversation. You can see that because I'm being addressed by my name at the start of the message. Now, this is actually a pretty good tip. If you know the user's name, address them by their name. Not just because it's good to address somebody by their name, but because it also gives an indication that the bot has some context about you, which invariably gives the user more confidence to ask better questions. They're going to be thinking that this isn't your run-of-the-mill dumb chatbot, but maybe we should give it a chance. Now let's select some options here and see what happens. First, I'm going to select fees and pricing. And then let's select reset password. And then let's select Square Card. Okay, you can see I'm getting some generic responses for each of these buttons. There is no indication that I'm getting anything unique that is getting incorporated into the answers that I'm seeing. I'm sure these answers are the same answers that everyone sees who selects those same buttons. What is unusual in this scenario is that the only clear reason I can see for the initial authentication was so that the bot knew my name and could address me as such. Otherwise, I'm not seeing any indication that it is using my account information to enhance the experience or provide personalization or additional context. Look, context is hard. I would say it's on the list of top 3 hardest things to get right with chatbots. So the mere fact that this bot introduced me by my name is actually considerably better than many other implementations I've seen out there. So for that reason, I'm going to give this bot a B-. And there you have it. I found there was something to take away from both TD and Square, and they should both be commended for progressing the bleeding edge. As I already mentioned, but I will say it again, context is hard, and the tooling that's available out there today doesn't make it any easier. Any conversational designer who can embed context into their CX will stand out in a crowd. And those who take that context and allow their users to make changes through the mode of conversation will be the pioneers of the industry. Thanks for watching, and if you are interested in seeing any more content like this, you can visit the Meya website where we post all of our videos on our blog. Thanks again and take care. Bye.